Hi everyone, this video is going to be about how to meditate better. So I've had the pleasure of teaching or facilitating more than 20 meditations now, actually more than 30, at a local yoga center called the Lodge Space and also at my own house. And personally, I've been meditating since I was 10 or 11 years old, which sounds crazy, but I was a strange kid, but that's a different story. For today, I want to talk about some practical tips for those who are beginners, but also this still could be relevant if you've been meditating for a long time. And yeah, how can we improve? Because many people, even if they have been meditating for a long time, struggle because they may fall asleep during meditation. They may struggle to clear their mind, constantly thinking about the thoughts of the day, about problems, emotions. They may feel upset. They may feel agitated physically. And so all these are issues that we have to take care of before or during the meditation in order to reach a relaxed state of awareness to undertake the tasks we set ourselves during meditation. So let's begin with how to clear our thoughts. So this could be step one, if you like, clearing your thoughts. But you know what? I was going to say, give you 3 steps: clear the thoughts, clear the emotions, and relax the body. And I think it actually goes the other way around. We should start with our physical body and work backwards or forwards, whichever. Because there's no point trying to clear one's thoughts if the body is agitated. So the first point is to relax the physical body. And this is interesting because different people have a different state of their body day to day. What do I mean by that? Some people move around a lot. They can't sit still, for example. I'm sure you can think of someone, a friend of yours or something that is like that. Other people, sitting still comes naturally to them. And so if you're someone who has to move around a lot, then you probably already are someone who also runs or does physical exercise of some sort because you're drawn to that. Your body needs that to relax. And you definitely need to do some form of physical exercise before you start to sit down and meditate. Alternatively, you could consider non-sitting meditations. These include things like Tai Chi, certain forms of Qigong, Kirtan, which is basically singing meditation. Even running can be a form of meditation. So don't limit yourself to the sitting meditation if you're someone who has to move around a lot. And this also goes for people who work a lot, sitting down in one place. If you're working from home, working on a computer, consider non-still, non-sitting forms of meditation. So that's really my first tip. Try to do some physical exercise before you sit down to meditate. In the yogic tradition, a lot of yoga, for example, hatha yoga, is preparation for meditation, because the yoga tradition knew that one has to first gain command over the physical body before you gain command over the emotional and mental bodies. So relax the physical body, just like an animal, take it for a walk, wear it out, and then you will be ready and comfortable to start meditating. Tip number 2 is to really... By the way, did you like the side cam change there? I think this camera is a lot better quality. Maybe you guys can advise me. I'm still getting the hang of this whole YouTube thing. Anyway, tip number 2 is to clear the emotions. Now, this is actually, in my opinion, the hardest one, because if you're upset or if you're angry, it can be quite hard to stop being upset or angry. Can you just click your fingers and stop doing that? Funnily enough, meditation itself is a way to stop those negative emotions. But nonetheless, we want to take all the steps we can to reduce extreme emotions in order to meditate. And there are certain meditations that can help you do that. But if not, once again, I would recommend doing some physical exercise before meditating. And that's because there's a saying, motion moves emotion. So if you go for a run, that's an excellent way to move stuck emotion, especially if you're upset or angry. Running it off will really help. There's a wonderful spiritual author called Dora Kuntz who could see the aura and chakras, and she could see people's emotions as a auric layer around them. And she says that since you can see them, they seem to have a physical material substance. And so I believe that emotions do indeed interact with energy in the material world, because energy and the material world are one. And if that's the case, then we can very much use material physical techniques to move, displace, and improve the flow of emotions. In either case, do what works for you. Maybe listen to some music, some calming music, or your favorite song, anything that can relax your emotions before you begin to meditate, because if you're in the wrong state of mind, it will be very difficult to relax. And the final tip then is to calm the mind. And once again, meditation itself is a way to calm the mind and reduce the thoughts. But what I really wanted to show you with this picture here is many of us go through the day with many thoughts in our heads. And this could look something like this, where we have many thoughts in our heads. And many of the people I speak to struggle to meditate because they have so many thoughts whirring around their head. So how do we solve this? There are different techniques to solve this at the start of your meditation. And this really comes down to planning your meditation, because in the beginning you want to use techniques to relax your body, emotions, and clear your mind. And then once you've really relaxed your entire body, you can start to then reach a heightened state of awareness and then undertake the tasks that you've set yourself during meditation. Because not all meditations are about clearing your mind. Nonetheless, most, if not all, meditations benefit from first clearing your mind. So how do we get rid of all these different thoughts? Well, there are different techniques to do this. One is simply visualization. So, for example, one that I like to do is I like to imagine myself floating on a barge in the dark on the sea, or in the ocean, and just breathing in the open, calm, crisp air. And each time I think of something, I imagine myself actually within the water, underneath the water, almost sinking, but it's not a scary feeling for me. It's just a calming feeling. And each time a thought passes my mind that I don't want it to be there, I imagine the thought just in a bubble floating upwards towards the surface of the sea whilst I'm sinking downwards, relaxing further and further. And as a new thought comes, it gets put in a bubble, and that bubble too gets more and more distant, floating upwards. And in this way, my thoughts are encapsulated and released higher and higher away from me. So it's important in your visualizations to use color, imagery, sound, all the senses to make your visualizations as strong as possible. Smell, and so on, touch and feeling. I don't know why I just named the five senses, because obviously you know what the five senses are. I missed one though, right? Four senses? Anyway. So you can use visualization. What other methods can we use? One is grounding. So this would be the second technique to clear your thoughts. So as you detect your thoughts in your head or outside of your head, just set the intention or feel or see, depending on how you like to operate. Feel these thoughts move down your body, down your spine. And if you're sitting down, then down the base of your spine into the center of the earth. And if you're standing, through your feet and into the center of the earth. And just see these thoughts go deeply into the earth and outside of your body. And that's a kind of grounding technique. You can combine that with all your favorite grounding techniques. A third method is to utilize breathing. So you can, on the inhale, breathe in a clear light or energy, and on the exhale, you can exhale any thoughts that you don't need, anything congesting you, blocking you, really getting rid of all those extraneous worrying thoughts. And breathing is really powerful for this, because breathing is the bridge between the physical world and the energetic world, energy in the spiritual sense, in the chi sense, in the dielectric sense. So breath is really powerful. It also has this wonderful aspect to it, which is great for meditation, because when you're doing some sort of physical activity, no matter how minute the physical activity is, that generally requires some brain power, especially if you're doing it really consciously. So if you're consciously breathing, then all of these thoughts start to get focused on the act of breathing. And what happens then is your mind cannot spend focus power on the other thoughts. So focus is a really important aspect of meditation. In fact, it's almost the entire it almost is meditation itself. So that's why when you do sport, for example, it's very much meditation, because you are so present and so focused on the sport that all the extraneous thoughts of the day are nowhere in sight. And that's why people find a great release in sport. And also, to be fair, and unfortunately, a great release in taking drugs and alcohol, because you are escaping from all these perhaps stressful or unnecessary thoughts. But we in meditation do this naturally and intentionally, rather than using drugs that obviously have negative side effects. So I'll leave it there for now. There are many, many more techniques to relax the physical, emotional, and mental bodies. But for now, hopefully that gives you some practical tips. And I'd really recommend thinking about clearing these three aspects of yourself before you get into the body of your meditation or the main part of your meditation. And each meditation ideally should have a goal or a plan. Not always, sometimes you just want to relax. But generally speaking, it's good to have a plan, and it's good to go through this process of relaxation from the physical, emotional, and mental states first. If you don't, you're going to sit down to meditate or lie down, you're going to be agitated, you might be busy with your thoughts and emotions and so on. So it's a process, and once you're in that beautifully relaxed state, there's so much you can do. So I'll leave it there for now. I hope you're all doing well, and catch you in the next video. Cheers.